Well, in studio today, we got Carlos Bocanegra, and this is his career timeline because what a career he had. It started with early MLS success. He spent 3 seasons with the Chicago Fire, winning not only MLS Rookie of the Year, but 2-time MLS Defender of the Year and the US Open Cup. Then a trip to Europe. He was a Fulham fan favorite, a bunch of appearances with the club, the Jackal and Black Snake, he was nicknamed by the supporters, and what a time that was. Then a moment in France, and then Scotland, spent 4 seasons between Rennes, Saint-Etienne, and Rangers, but the USMNT career is unparalleled by many. Recorded over 100 appearances, the captain. For US men's national team, 6 starts during the 06 and 2010 World Cups, and then beyond his playing career, an exec at Atlanta United, technical director, MVP from 2015 to 2024. And with that, we welcome in a USMNT legend in Carlos Bocanegra. You guys are too dressed up. This is a morning show. We got to loosen up a little bit, Carlos.
It's 2 captains, 2 ex-players. What do you expect,
yeah,
mate?
Maybe, I to be honest, Carlos, I should have dressed up. Welcome in our morning.
You look great. You look great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Just call him Boca, all right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, that was a very lengthy playing career, a bunch of accolades, a couple of big moments, but we didn't mention that you played with Nige.
Yeah, a little bit. We played together.
Chivas.
Yeah.
We didn't even play one game together. We were in the same vicinity together, all right? That's the best way to describe it.
It was good, though. It was good. It was good to have him in the locker room. Obviously, Nigel brings some energy to the party all the time, so it was great to share a locker room with him.
So, if there was anybody that encompassed the word mentality, it was you. You understood the standard that you needed to elevate not only your club team at, but also USMNT. And a lot of the success of the USMNT coincided with your jump, and a lot of the guys jumped to Europe. When you compare it with the team now, where do you think the bridge in mentality is, or how they can kind of bring that up to the level that you guys have?
Yeah, well, I appreciate the nice comments. I think something from our group that we always wanted to do was bring that energy, bring that mentality like you spoke about, but really be consistent, and you can count on the guy next to you, right? And I think that was one of the best things that we had with our group. You look at Tim, Michael, Stevie, Jay Demerit out there. I talked about Mo earlier. There was just a group of guys that, Dempsey, you could count on them, right? And I think we really fought for each other. So that was kind of our era and our generation. This generation has a ton of talent, right? And I don't know exactly what's not clicking for them right now. I'm not in their dressing room. I'm not in the camp. So it's always kind of, tough to judge from outside, right? You don't want to just kind of be poking holes in stuff you don't really know about. But, you hope that they can kind of come together as a group. It looks like they still fight, and they clearly care about playing for the country. They just haven't quite clicked. But the talent on this team and this generation is pretty incredible.
Do you think, Carlos, in your generation, there was a bit more freedom for your personalities to come out a lot more, whether it was in training, in games, and obviously you guys playing in England and kind of fighting to get that respect for US soccer players? Do you feel in this generation, now that they've got the respect from what you guys have done and opened doors for them to going to Europe, do you feel that they need to let a little bit more of their personality out in order to have that kind of edge and spirit that you guys had?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not in there, but what we did is, again, we fought for each other. We were hard. We definitely were trying to earn the respect, right? Kind of getting over to Europe, breaking into those clubs, not only being there, but playing. Right, actually getting playing time at top clubs in Europe, which these guys are doing now. But it was something where, the respect globally, we're always fighting for that in U.S. soccer, right? It's kind of, always looked upon as maybe a little bit lesser around the world. Okay, now MLS has come up. The academy systems are starting to develop. The national team's done some stuff on the big stage. So, you just hope that they can continue to do that and push forward with, not only our generation, but all the generations that have laid the foundation. But look, these guys, I do think they'll pull it together. Poch is a great coach. He's got a great personality. He knows how to deal with players at the highest level, right? So you've got to think that they're gonna pull it together. The one challenge for these guys is they don't really have any meaningful games leading up to this tournament. So it makes it incredibly difficult to prepare.
Yeah. All right, Boca, we're going to roll back the clock. We're going to talk about Club World Cup 2 in just a second. I know you're an ambassador for that tournament that's coming up this summer, but let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we?
Okay.
We tasked you with putting together your teammate 11, your best of all time.
Yes, it was a difficult task, also really fun. Did bring up some old memories, but it was great. Those were some of the best times of my life, just sharing the field with some of these guys and just in camp and grinding, going down to Guatemala, El Salvador on the road, and just some of the things that you get to experience. But, Tim Howard, one of my best friends still, outside of football as well, great competitor, great leader, someone you could always count on as a defender. For myself, if you made a mistake, he's going to pick you up. So, one of obviously the best all-time keepers we've ever had in our country, and played for Everton, Manchester United of the likes, and that is an interesting beard he's sporting in that picture. But he's done a great job. So, he was just someone you could always count on.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, they don't make them like Tim Howard anymore. All right, the defenders.
All right, so I'll start from the right. So Steve Cherundulo is obviously head coach at LAFC.
Whoa. You put yourself in your own team.
Nige, you got to promote yourself a little bit, right?
Put yourself. You're the only person that's put yourself. Listen, even I never put myself on.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that one bit.
You're the first person.
This is who I enjoyed playing with. Is why I did the team like this. But Steve Cherundulo, again, great leader. He played in the Bundesliga his whole career. Respectful guy. Could count on him. Just shut people down. When we played England in the World Cup, he, who was it, Aaron Lennon? No, who did he shut down over there? I forget, on the other side.
Either Lennon or Theo, maybe.
It was Milner.
Oh, wow.
Milner. He shut Milner down. Fantastic. But Eddie Pope then moving into the center, one of the best all-time central defenders we've ever had in our country. It was a shame, I think, that he didn't get that opportunity to play in Europe, because I think he would have really succeeded and done a great job. But fantastic person. Again, just, kind of quiet confidence. I came into the team when he was kind of that veteran, and so I was able to play next to him. I learned a ton from him, and it was great. But just,
how many games do you think you guys got together in the national team?
I don't remember. It wasn't too many. But even just in the camps, and like a lot of my early camps, I didn't play much. But I just got to train against these guys and just watch and learn and compete, just kind of see how they prepared themselves, which was great. And then you go over to the left, DeMarcus Beasley. He was kind of a converted winger left back, but I think he would have made an excellent left back for his whole career. He was wiry. He was tough, man. This guy, I remember we were actually roommates. We got drafted kind of together into the Chicago Fire, and we lived together for a year, and he was still in high school, which was crazy. So he's kind of come in and out, but this kid was so tough, and like he's a littler, lighter frame guy, but he would still stick it into the big guys. He would get knocked down. He would get chopped to the ground. He'd get back up, and he would play and he would fight. And it was, again, it's a consistent theme, just guys that you can count on, that when you're going into tough games, that they stand up for you.
He would be a modern wing-back in the game today.
Yes.
In a modern game today, he would be what you call that wing-back role, and he'll be phenomenal at it.
This is making me nostalgic, man. I mean, that backline and goalkeeper, that is solid. Moving on over to defensive midfielders.
Yeah, so Chris Armas, who just got inducted to the Hall of Fame here a few weeks back, I played with him in the Chicago Fire and a little bit with the national team as well, but he was very underrated, and he had a couple injuries in his career that kept him out of the World Cup. I think more people would have known how good he was, but his qualities to read the game and put out fire. So again, as a central defender, when we have that holding midfielder, Nigel knows how important that role is. He played that and did a great job. But Chris Armas would put out so many fires and put out all that trouble that it makes you look good. And it makes your job a lot easier, because whether he's shielding a guy, he's getting in front of a passing lane, he's making a tackle, he makes your job so much easier as a central defender. And he was a great captain and a great leader for Chicago Fire. Mo Adu, I got to play with him at Rangers, and he is someone that he covered so much ground. It was incredible to see his athletic ability and just, getting in tackles and picking the pocket. And he was a strong guy, good on the ball, just smooth. He had a few injuries to his knees that kind of helped him. But I think, Mo was just, his incredible athleticism to just get around the pitch was fantastic.
Were you on the team when he scored in the Old Firm?
No, I came after that.
That was later.
Yeah.
Where'd you play with him first, on the national team or on Rangers?
The national team, and then I joined him at Rangers.
Wow.
Yeah, so
pretty epic.
It was cool. It was really cool. So we'll start on the left. Eddie Lewis. He was one of the old school wingers. Just great left foot, could get a cross in. hard worker, industrious. Again, a guy you could count on. When the ball rolls out, he's playing defense, he's playing offense. And again, we were grinders, right? Back in the day, we weren't necessarily pretty football for the United States. We tried to get there and maybe fancied ourselves a little bit at times, but we were grinders. And Eddie was just that industrious play. Beat someone on the left, get the ball in, get the ball in, get the ball in. You could count on him. Clint Dempsey in the middle. You could put him maybe up top, underneath. Just a fantastic player. But one of the biggest things, Clint was maybe the biggest competitor that I've ever played against.
Give you those eyes, huh?
It was, you loved having him on your team in practice, and you hated playing against him in practice. And for all the skill and the tricks and all this stuff he has, this dude is mean. He was a mean competitor, but in a good way. And he didn't care. He wanted to win every single practice. And in big games, when we're getting pumped by Spain or England or Italy or some of these this guy would show up and he's still demanding the ball and still trying to find the ball. And that's what I love about his personality and his character.
Boca, I'll tell you something, a personal anecdote that I can imagine you saw it at 1,000%. I played pickup with him for something for CBS that we did. It was pickup, meaningless game. Eyes, pupils were dialed up, and it was scary. I can't even imagine.
You got scared of Dempsey?
Man, he turned it on. It was maybe he was on my team, but I saw the edge. Yeah. And that was maybe just a tiny window into the edge that he probably had as a professional.
Yeah, and it was so fun. It was so fun to play with him. And he came to Fulham when I was there. And so I picked him. I took him to training for about a couple months. I was like, dude, you got to learn to drive in England now. I can't take you to training anymore. But it was cool just to have those conversations with him and see him on a day-to-day basis as well. So great player, great kid. Landon, fantastic player. He could play all across that front line as well. But just someone that was, he could turn it on and change the game for you. He's just a fantastic player, fantastic talent.
This is an unbelievable 11 that's topped with Brian McBride.
And McBride as well. McBrizzle. Played with him at Fulham. Again, he was your old school center forward, fantastic in the air. If a defender's going to clear the ball out, he's putting his head in there, doesn't care. He had so many excellent finishes. But this guy is maybe the best dude in football. Just one of the nicest, all-around, genuine people. And he worked hard. He was, he led from the front. He's putting in the hard work as a center forward, chasing, scrapping, fighting for you. So he did a great job of leading from the front and setting the tone for the whole team. And like I said, he was not afraid to mix it up. I mean, there's that game against Italy in the World Cup where his eye got split open. He's got blood everywhere from the elbow. Kept going, no problem. I'm still going to head the ball.
Only team not to lose to World Cup champions.
And we scored against them.
Very underrated, Brian McBride. I always said that from when he played at Fulham and what a player he was.
Who would be your manager in this 11?
From all the national team coaches we had? Yeah, I mean, Bob Bradley, I thought, did a great job with our group. And, I could have very easily put Michael in this team as well. He was a super competitor, great leader. But Bob did a wonderful job with us where, he managed us in a good way, but let us have that freedom and kind of, I think he played to our strengths with what we were as a team, and he got the most out of us. And I think we were able to overachieve, beating Spain in the Confederations Cup semifinal games. In big games, he got the most out of us, and he lined us up to be successful, not necessarily all the best players on the field, the best group. He had a great eye for that.